34 in their loss on Monday night.
Zephyr, no.
Remember, neither one of these teams have played yet, so expect a few jitters, so to speak, here in the early going. It doesn't surprise me that they've missed their first couple shots.
Idaho State, third offensively in conference play this year. A nice move there from Jay.
I know, I took I
had a coach once say that was a selfish play. I said, how's that a selfish play? I was wide open.
And there's a reason you're wide open.
Said, have you seen your field goal percentage? And one. Strong take O'Neal. That ends at 10.
But that ball should never come in on an in-out of bounds play to that side of the court.
O'Neal short, on the board. That is the first offensive rebound for Idaho State in the second half. They have 14 overall in the game. Jake O'Neal hits the three, just the second.
I thought a bus had come through and hit him because Goraki turned around and gave him a pretty good shot right in the snout.
High off the glass, Jake O'Neal now with 10.
What great player movement they've had throughout this game. A lot of times the guy will get it in a post or high post and people will stand around and watch. They just start their motion once that ball gets caught in the post. That was just terrific cut, terrific give and go.
O'Neal from the base, softly puts it in. Be at your best at this time of the year. Hard to say, Montana State has not been that. They have been fabulous.
Dylan Darling 0 for 4 this half, Tony. 0 for 2 from the three-point line.
O'Neal's been busy in the second half, fades away and banks it in.
Still sitting on 4 offensive rebounds. There's that great spacing I talked about.
Oh, a great defensive play by O'Neal. Wipes away that shot on the dunk attempt from McMahon. O'Neal, strong take, now converts on the offensive end.
Carson Tout in the paint, and a little pull-up shot from about 4 feet gives the Lumberjacks an early 4-0 lead. Here's Connor Hollenbeck coming off his first career double-double at Eastern Washington Saturday. Backs his man down, Baker, comes back out to the left side, and O'Neal. Now, Isaiah Griffin hands back to Dylan Darling. He'll work center circle with 12 to shoot. Darling gets by Tout, hangs in the air, comes back, driving the baseline. Jake O'Neal got pinned up underneath and still got it up. Good, and that is just the second miss of the night. They are 6 of 7 from the floor, are the Lumberjacks. So 12-11 as we go back and forth here. 5 minutes into the game. Darling on top, looked inside, nothing there. Here's Jake O'Neal. Now he'll feed it. Isaiah Griffin gets in the paint, nowhere to go. Jake O'Neal breaks around the side. Jaden Jackson hits a 3-ball straight away to tie the game again at 16. Here is Darling, drives underneath, gives it off. Jake O'Neal in the end. Here is Abelman, 13-10 to go. And there's a steal by Jake O'Neal. Jake the other way and throws it down with 2 hands. Trying to take it at Ryan Abelman. Can't get it. Kick it out. 3-ball. O'Neal front iron. Got his own rebound. Lay it up and in.
With the handles. Oh, he is impressive. Great dish to Dabriko, but he missed it and recovers. Second chance. It's O'Neal who gets it for Idaho State.
Again.
And after a lot of the roster left to go down to Pullman to follow Coach Riley.
Yeah, he's a long 3-man that can shoot and post up and do a little bit of everything. And if he continues to get stronger and more consistent, he's definitely going to help this Eastern Washington program out.
Jake O'Neal getting physical. How about that aggression? If you're a coach, what do you even say to that? You're like, well,
get a stop. You can't do that.
O'Neal got it. The offensive rebound on 8 minutes to play. Williams still can't get it going. 0 for 3 from the field. O'Neal on Hartman, who's just back into the game. Great move by the Here
comes Dylan Darling. Isaiah Griffin working against Maruss. Now around to the other side, Hollenbeck. Evan Otten, the cross-court pass, and the flush by Jake O'Neal. Now here's Gonzalez driving, reverse layup. Just a little bit too out of control, and back come the Bengals. O'Neal, the grad student from Fruitland, Idaho, gets the roll.
On a third-ranked Idaho team, so tonight there's a lot on the line for the Vandals themselves, looking for some revenge from the Bengals, and the Bengals trying to get that cup.
Now going baseline is O'Neal, found the opening and took advantage. Yes, Christian Gonzalez.
And that's 2 possessions now. Idaho's been able to get right to that logo area, the Big Sky logo, one-on-one, and have great opportunities. Anytime you can get that deep into the defense, good things are going to present themselves.
He was a key cog in the win last year over Idaho State, scoring 7 of the team's final 12. Meantime, O'Neal from three-point land, yes. Payne from 3, short. And the rebound by Otten. Crowd didn't like it, thought there was a foul there on the shot, no call. Darling, the hesitation step, and they kick it around. This is O'Neal for 3, got it! Jacob.
Far side by Skuta. And the rebound to Jake O'Neal. He'll get it back, bring it to the front court. Now they've got Skuta on Isaiah. Get it out now to Hollenbeck. Down on the baseline near side, O'Neal. Kick it out, Isaiah Griffin. Kind of thought about a 3-ball. Back to Dylan Darling, 10 to shoot.
They've gone to a zone.
Yep, and here is Jake O'Neal. His little push shot rolls in. Skuta. Bengals try to get the stop. They do. That gives Nunn an open look. That won't drop. And the rebound to Jake O'Neal. Back down the floor quickly. Darling into the paint. Kick it back. Jake O'Neal pull up off the glass. Back-to-back buckets for first chance or first points of the night for Hollenbeck. He missed the second, but the rebound got loose, and it came to who else? Jake O'Neal.
Jake.
He finds those loose basketballs.
He's a magnet.
Bengals up 13. Pass. Corner. Hollenbeck. Up fake. Gets by. Now kick it far side. O'Neal for 3. That's good. Jake O'Neal.
State here.
Here's Otten. He gets it to Isaiah Griffin. He drives inside. Can't score. Jake O'Neal can. And he gets the putback. And the feeling he didn't know Diorama was there. Diorama got beat by Blake Dabrico. Dabrico missed the shot. Blocked that cleanly.
And Ryan Looney is telling his guys, look, we don't need any more fancy dunks.
Yeah.
Bring the ball out and run clock.
Yeah, because right now, the only thing that's going to beat Idaho State is Idaho State.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, making bad mistakes. Here's Isaiah Griffin, dribbles across the paint, finds Jake O'Neal, floater off the glass.
Beautiful.
What touch. What?
Drive into the paint, dumps it off to Minot. Minot, double team, reverses it underneath, can't get it. Bergen with a rebound. AJ outlets to Darling. Ahead. This is going to be a layup for Jake O'Neal.
Beautiful.
Now the Bengals will slow it down a little bit here.
Now Ryan Looney puts the brakes on.
43 seconds to go here in the half. Jake O'Neal has the ball in the right block. Down in the paint. Turnaround. Shot up and good. Jake O'Neal with it.
Maybe the first assist of the night for Keont Myers. And you're probably going to see some adjustments by the Vikings in how they attack this Bengal defense in the second half.
Dylan Darling out on top. Looking for Otten. Has him. Gives it right back to his point guard. Dylan Darling trying to take Jalen Henderson off the drive. Got free momentarily, but Minot jumped out on him. Here's Jake O'Neal for a 3 from the far side. And Jake O'Neal picks up the first. Miller Jr. sets down. 8:21 to go here in the game. Inbounds comes to O'Neal. Jake on the floor with Isaiah Griffin, Jackson Green, Blake Dabrico, and Dylan Darling. Trying to back down his man, Isaac Bryce. Takes the flop. No, and the bucket good for
and that
Jake
should
O'Neal.
be a flop warning.
To 5th now, depending on all the games tonight shake out. But this game could put them into a tie for 4th if they can win, and Idaho State the same. So a big one here as Idaho State will start with the ball. So we take a look at the starting lineups. Darling, O'Neal, Hollenbeck, Griffin, and Otten for the Bengals.
Yeah, it's a massive game tonight. Idaho State currently sits at 4th. The Cats win would put them at 4th. End of the season, big time game. I'm excited for this.
Quick shot by bounding margin in the NCAA at 9.2 average a game.
Wow.
I've got to turn some of those into points. That one's tipped around. Nice cut inside. Cut off. Tough shot off the glass and in. Now back into the game for the Bengals. Darling to inbound. Gets it into O'Neal. Looked like Hollenbeck maybe had a flat tire there, lost a shoe, but he gets it back on. O'Neal spin, little floater up and good. Beautiful. Probe inside, kicks it out. O'Neal, another little floater. That one won't go. Gets the rebound. Up and in. Game for Montana State. Under 12 minutes to go.
The confidence from James Mullins has risen so much these last few games. Earlier in the season, I think he would have passed that look up, but he shot that with no hesitation.
Position, gets it up and in around Green. 49-46.
Agbanpolo has been great for this team in the second half. Good job finding Grant. Wow.
O'Neal. Mullins, who he wanted that one. Agbanpolo will take it. That one's off the mark. Here comes Idaho State, so big stop there by the Bengals, and they flash inside. 8-point game, 17 seconds to go.
Don't foul, no fouls.
Almost lost. O'Neal down low, up and in with 10 seconds.
Time, Montana leading by 11. Brandon Whitney at the controls and throws it away. It's O'Neal coast to coast. He'll sky in for the two-hand flush.
To go at 17-7 at Idaho State back in January.
That's really a nice read by Blaze Street to back cut that pressure, and then a really, really nice pass by Trevor Henning.
O'Neal. Started back down on Burris. Good one-on-one battle here. The fade away from 10.
Team to contend until the conference tournament, especially in Big Sky play.
Well, last year we were watching Idaho State saying, well, they are not what their seed would say. And then a couple of years ago, we were watching Northern Arizona saying they are not your typical 9 seed because they were playing much better than what their seed represented. Here is Griffin with the clock down to 5. Goes out, Jake O'Neal over the length of able to finish. Idaho State started shooting really well from 3 at the beginning of this game. They are just 1 of their last 10. 3-point shooting's been a problem for them on the road. It's been a key part of their struggles on the road. O'Neal the fade away from 10.
Standing out there wide open, their leading 3-point shooter.
Darling all over Hennig, picks his pocket, steals it. Now up the court, finds a rumbling O'Neal to the hoop. Off the glass and in. Playing with more aggression and more confidence.
A month ago, he wouldn't even have attempted that shot, Tony. He started against the Montanans at home when Threek was out, but he's gained more experience and more confidence as this season's gone on.
It's there to make it a 2-point game.
He was 6 of 9 for the season before then. How about the Wildcats, Tony? They're shooting 72.7% this half. And
come back out to AJ. AJ, step back, the jump shot off the mark, but there's Jake O'Neal. He got the minutes per game this season, 2 points per game. But bringing him in here now with the game tied at 19. Jackson Green, left elbow. Jake O'Neal gets it back between the rings to Dylan Darling. Darling, whip a pass over to O'Neal. He'll drive off the right wing, get to the glass, shot, good. Jake O'Neal in the game Saturday at home. And tonight we noticed on his left hand, his shooting hand, or one of it, he's kind of ambidextrous, but on his left hand, got a couple of fingers taped together. What a feed! On the near sideline, right around the head of that Bears bench. Lob it into the backcourt to Jake O'Neal. Now to Darling. We just went under 5 minutes to go in the half. Idaho State with a 3-point lead here against the Big Sky Conference leader, Northern Colorado. Jake O'Neal. He wants to drive. Gets down underneath with Langston Reynolds. Reverses it up, and he scored! Really for his first field goal of the night, and that's what he does. They list him as an Australian native out of Sydney, but he actually kind of grew up around Idaho and played on an Idaho AAU squad during high school.
The more you know, right?
Well, sports information directors are great. Here's Jake O'Neal in the 14 to shoot. Here is Jake O'Neal across the lane. The one-hand runner, no, but the rebound to Evan Otten. And now the Bengals can almost run this thing. There's about a 7-second differential between shot and game clock. Idaho State with 10 seconds to shoot. They lead by 1 at 37-36. Here's O'Neal driving, the runner, it's good. Native of Australia. Here is Isaiah Hawthorne. His three-pointer missed. Blake Daberco gets the rebound. Outlet ahead to Jake O'Neal. A minute to go. Jake to the glass. Lay it up and in. Towards Isaiah Griffin. Down to 5 to shoot. Isaiah pulls up his first jumper of the day off the back iron. But there's Jake O'Neal, one of the top rebounders in the country, with an offensive rebound for Idaho State, and they get a second chance here. Darling stops his dribble. Top of the circle. Guarded out there by Tyler Linhart, who has checked into the game. Jake O'Neal. 21, I think, in that win over Northern Colorado in the second half.
Yeah, once he gets going, it can be really hard to stop him, so it's going to be really important for the Bengals defense to come into play here.
Jake O'Neal from down against Jackson Green. Comes off a screen, has the ball knocked free. Bengals fight for it, and Jackson Green comes away with it. Gets it to A.J. Bergen. Yeah, this was a very smart move by Ryan Looney. He can sit Dylan Darling for about a minute or so, or 49 seconds of clock time, and then the timeout. It'll be a nice little 3 to 5 minute rest here. There's A.J. Bergen. Whip
Keeping
it
him
over.
fresh.
Jake O'Neal, 4-3, and he got it. Earlier today, this Idaho State team, look, the Big Sky Conference is extremely, there's a lot of parity this year in the Big Sky Conference. And the Bengals can be right at the top, as could the Vandals. It's just a win here or there.
Yep, exactly.
Idaho State with the ball. Dylan Darling, Hollenbeck, over to A.J. Bergen. 13 to shoot. Just went under 9 to go in the game. Dylan Darling gets free, gets into the paint, gives it off. Here's Jake O'Neal, a one-hand push from 14 feet. McClain popping out. Emmett Marquardt down on that right block. Powell, pull-up jumper over Isaiah Griffin is left short. Rebound comes to Dylan Darling. Darling pulls up his dribble, gets to the corner, near side for Isaiah Griffin. He'll dribble it out, and now bring it to Jake O'Neal, who hands to Jackson Green. O'Neal gets the ball back, gets onto the block, and puts up a tough shot. Hits it. 6'8" grad student. He played at Arizona State, Maryland, and last year at High Point. So
Well-traveled.
Yeah, absolutely. You see a lot of that now, though.
Oh, yeah.
That's just kind of the transfer portal and the way things are. Here's Jake O'Neal on the dribble drive. Right side, lay it up and in. Jake O'Neal. As long as you're straight up, you're fine. But Cook brought his both hands down.
There was nothing vertical about that.
No. Horizontal, maybe. Here is Jake O'Neal with a left elbow fall away.
Griffin in the paint to Green. Wide open O'Neal from 3. He knew he overshot the mark. Oh, he just picks the pocket of Miller after the rebound. Couple of chances for Portland State now. Darling in transition to Griffin. Wiped away by Johnson. Around the Otten screen. Now Farrell guarding Darling. Shot clock at 10 for O'Neal. Crosses over on Myers. That's a tough shot for the left-hander, but he got it. 13-point lead, one off their largest. O'Neal, Hollenbeck, Griffin, Darling, and Green. And a hard charge to the goal.
Bucket off the glass, and good. Oh, wow. Holt goes down. That looked like it hurt. Holt went down hard, but Vaughn's got the bucket to go. And how about the Hornets off to a 6-0 start? Sacramento State 4-6 at home. Bengals able to get it in the paint. There's the first little hook shot by Jay. That's not good. I've known some of these people forever, but it's not good when you give the other team a basket on your home court when they didn't make the basket. So just an error at the press table, no big deal. We all make errors. I make a ton of them. I'll make one right here on the reverse layup. And that one goes in. Wow, the Hornets are playing with a lot of energy. Holt hasn't been the go-to. And here comes Vaughns, and that shot is blocked. Wow, that was an impressive block there by Otten, who has 42 blocks on the year, and then a streaking bucket. Wilson back out. O'Neal. So Neal can't get it to go. EJ missed that one. Backdoor cut, and the bucket good by 7 on the shot clock. Now Holt's got to make something happen. He just posts up and fires, no good. Rebound pulled down by the Bengals. 2 minutes and 2 seconds to go. Coast to the bucket, and the layup is good.
2 18-point games and a 19-point game in his career. He has just risen to every occasion against the Bengals.
Except that one where he missed the free throw. And for an 80% free throw shooter, pretty odd that he would miss one. And underneath they go. Jake O'Neal on the pass. Grizzlies can't convert.
You see A.J. Bergen was overplaying that left hand, and he took full advantage of it. Went right to the rim with the right.
Here's Jake O'Neal. Little spin to the rim. Yeah, we've seen it. We didn't see it as much on Thursday night for the Bengals against Montana State. It really hurt them against Weber on 4 or 5 occasions.
Very much so.
Last Saturday. Dylan Darling, he'll work out beyond the three-point line on the right side, then go down on that right block for Jake O'Neal, who puts up a hook shot and knocks it down. We're not going to go away and just lay down here tonight. Hollenbeck with a catch. He's got Patterson on him. Spins into the paint. Nothing there. Gives it to O'Neal. The one-hand push shot, good.
Turnovers so far.
So a 54-46 Bengal lead. Bring it out, Jackson Green. Over to Connor Hollenbeck. Drive, baseline. O'Neal off the glass and good. Jake O'Neal. Here's Darling. Here's a step back three. That's off the mark. And the rebound, O'Neal. The putback is good. Comes to Jackson Green. A.J. Bergen will bring it into the front court. Young man graduated in 3 years, playing his senior year, or his grad year, I guess you want to call it that, for Idaho State. And Idaho State down to 10 to shoot. Isaiah Griffin. They find Jake O'Neal. Baseline. Here's Isaiah Griffin. He's got Kai Johnson. Pull up. Jumper. No. Rebound. Tip. Jake O'Neal. It was kept. Money Williams gets into the paint. And Evan Otten rejects it. That's at least the second block for Otten tonight.
And a great save by Connor Hollenbeck. That's the third block of the night for Evan Otten, who leads the Big Sky in block shots.
He's at 2.6 per game, and he's over that tonight. 20-point lead at 2:55. Bengals with 12 to shoot. Isaiah Griffin into the game. They have Amari Jetkins, who we've not seen tonight. Far side, Jake O'Neal for three, and he got it. It's
bad pass by Jake O'Neal. Threw it right at Connor Hollenbeck's ankles.
Jed Miller driving into the paint. Jake O'Neal steals it. Jake the other way, hangs and scores. Jake O'Neal. And here's Jabe Mullins with it. He'll work against his former college roommate. Ball inside, stolen away. Nice play from behind by Otten. Bengals on the run. Give, go, dunk, O'Neal. It's left in the game. Darling, corner. Isaiah Griffin trying to answer his three-pointer, no. Jake O'Neal with the offensive rebound.
Pass by Dylan Darling.
Here is Miguel Tomley, left wing three, not good, and Otten up for the rebound. And as we said, the former Bengal, Miguel Tomley, played his last 2 seasons here. Underneath they go, Jake O'Neal, great pass cutting along the bench. He had a little family get-together. It's home for Christmas, I think he said, for a couple of days, but parents got to see him play in a Bengal uniform. Here's Jake O'Neal into the paint. Shot! Wow! Jake O'Neal. Colorado last week, and underneath they go. Vucinic gets the easy layup. Vucinic now with 11 points tonight. And again, Weber up in double figures by 10.
And Ryan Looney immediately called for Evan Otten after that play by Vucinic.
Here is Jake O'Neal, right wing, three ball, good for 3 free throws in a row, win this game. You never know.
Well, the Bengals got to do some work, down by 10.
58-48, 7:50 to go. Blake Daberco hands it off to Meza. Meza through the hands of Hollenbeck over to Jake O'Neal. Jake sizing up Dyson Kohler. Crosses him over, now comes back. Into the paint goes Quentin Meza. Jake O'Neal the other way, score it! He's fouled and years ago he had to do required military service for Finland. He was in the service, the Army, with Lowry Markkinen from the Utah Jazz.
Nice.
Yeah.
And he missed both free throws.
He did miss both free throws, so the lead stays at 8. Hollenbeck, get it to Daberco. Cutting, Jake O'Neal, lay it up and in.
What a great...
down, one in the lane.
Yeah, a couple of fallaways we've seen from Carson Todd. Doesn't really shoot the jumper too often.
57-42 the lead. O'Neal, turnaround push shot on
8. So Bengals will inbound, trailing it 10-9.
A little bit of pressure for the first time there out of the dead ball.
So it'll be Meza out on top with it. He's picked up out there by Trevin Linhart. Blake Daberco's checked into the game for the first time tonight as well.
Wow.
Underneath they go. Bengals with 17 fouls. The Wolverines with just 5 as they lob it into Evan Otten. Underneath they go. Jake O'Neal.
What a nice pass.
At a 43% clip right now. The Bengals at 39. Q came back into the game. That's Quentin Meza. He'll take over at the point guard as Bergen went out. Jake O'Neal. He'll get it across the timeline. Up top, little give and go. Jake O'Neal with a finger roll good. Back up to an 8-point bulge here for Utah Valley at 30-22. We've got 3.5 minutes left in the first half from Pocatello. Here is O'Neal, 4-3, and the streak is alive. And Jacob Daberco gets into the paint, and he'll put up the hook shot off the glass. No, tipped up. Jackson Green kept it alive, and Jake O'Neal puts it up and
it's a nice pass.
Isaiah Griffin tried to keep it alive, block. And a block from behind by Hollenbeck. Here come the Bengals. Jake O'Neal, lay it up and in. 29 mark. Bengals on the attack. Griffin, Bergen, Jake O'Neal. Jake O'Neal gives it back to Bergen. AJ looking for a high screen from Hollenbeck. Gets it. There's AJ to the bucket. Underneath. Great pass. And a finish by Jake. Right side glass against Isaiah Griffin. And Beard picks up his 5th point of the night. Bengals lead is 23 here at 47-24 as we played just about 2 minutes here in this second half. From Reed Gym and Pocatello. A.J. Bergen drive and a dunk by Jake O'Neal. Line jump shot off the left side from about 12 feet is good for Steele Twyford. And Twyford has his 2nd field goal of the game, 4th point overall. Here's Jaden Brown with it. Feed it into Meza. Q. Right side of the lane. Comes back to Jake O'Neal and slices down the pound. Jake O'Neal maybe got away with a shuffle of the feet that goes out there and gets another rebound off a missed 3 ball. Daberco handles. Brings it out. Jake O'Neal. This is for 3, and that's good. It was nearly stolen away by Connor Hollenbeck. Here's Josue Morales. His 3-pointer a little bit too long. Jake O'Neal on the other end. Drive and score off of Kenmore, Washington. A freshman gets his first field goal of the night for Walla Walla. Ryan Tyler guarding out on top. Now they get it to Hollenbeck. Here's Jake O'Neal. A corner 3 ball good. Jake O'Neal rims around and comes out. Bengals with the basketball up big. Meza surveys. Takes the dribble over towards the left side. Keeps it alive. Now comes back to the right to Griffin. Near side corner. Jake O'Neal splashes another. Here's a bounce pass. Another 3 ball on the way by Luke Gray. That won't go. JoJo Moore tried to keep it alive, and it ended up in the hands of Dylan Darling. And Idaho State now with a chance to get their first lead of the, or retake the lead. No, that's right. They had not had the lead, so this would be their first lead of the game. Darling out on the wing. Underneath they go. Jake O'Neal bodies up. Shot good. And they Jalen Miller. 26-23. And the 3-point try from the far side corner by Darius Robinson Jr. Not good. So Idaho State with a chance to get back to within a point here as they get it inside to O'Neal. Shot good. He's fouled and he'll go to the line. Top 2, Darius Robinson Jr. working against Quentin Meza. Gets it into the paint and missed that 5-foot jump shot hard off the back iron. Q with a rebound. Brings it up the left side now in the outlet to O'Neal. Hollenbeck out on top. A.J. Bergen. Quiet tonight thus far. Inside and lay it up and in. That's Jake O'Neal. Big couple of minutes here for Idaho State. Here is a corner 3 ball, and that was missed off the edge of the glass, and another rebound for O'Neal. And Jake going for the double-double. He's got it. Yes. It's good. He's fouled, and he'll go.
You have a guy like that. It makes it a lot easier, Jay, to extend the pressure because you know you have someone back there as the last line of defense.
Defense 2-2 at the free throw line. Quick 5-0 burst to start the night for South Dakota. And back come the Bengals. Here is Otten. Hands it off, Darling, guarded by Stewart. A lot of new faces on this Idaho State team. They brought in 12 new guys. One of 27 programs the entire tonight for the Coyotes. Get another change. There's Bullock back into the game. Forte and Everwine have a seat. Caleb Stewart back out there as well now. Daberco with the basketball, guarded by fellow big man Cameron Feds. Now they swing it around. Here's Bergen. Inside it goes O'Neal. Off the window, rattles it in. It splashes through his second.
And a good job by Bruns, Jay, of not getting sped up, because the guy was flying at him. A season ago, I think he might have rushed that, but he took his time. He understood the defender taking himself out. Used that little fan dribble well.
5 triples on the board already for South Dakota. Here's O'Neal. Hits the 3 and nails it. So a big answer there from Caleb Stewart. Couple of triples for him tonight.
And a good job by Forte with the pass, Jay, to lead Stewart into that shot.
There are 3 minutes to go in the ball game. Here's Bergen again. Can they continue to find number 13? They do, this time inside the arc. He passes out. Here's Meza. Bergen's got it back. His pass deflected by Forte. Almost got a 5th steal there. And now O'Neal driving in, up and over Smith, and rolls it through. Air down. He's in double figures now with 10 points. And it feels like this one has been salted away now for South Dakota. Just not enough possessions left for Idaho State, you would think, at this point, with just over a minute to play. O'Neal, though, says not
tight, but still kind of long on top and in the back. We'll have to ask him about that. It's a good look. There's Idaho State with the basketball. Dylan Darling. They'll get it into Jackson Green at the left elbow. Back out on top. Angle left for Isaiah Griffin. Far side. Dylan Darling up fakes for 3. Drives. Then gives it off to Evan Otten. The ball was stripped away. Came to Darling and then Jake Pointer. So everybody's getting into the mix here. And there's a steal by Jake. And Jake O'Neal the other way with a 2-hand flush. The corner, and now underneath they go to Jake O'Neal. Here is Blake Daberco's 3-ball, no. Rebound up and good by Jake O'Neal.
2 road wins in Sacramento and Portland.
Yeah, and that one in Sacramento was huge. Damari Hackett just hit that bucket for Embry-Riddle to make it 77-34 as we approach the 8-minute mark. Inside, Jake O'Neal. And
lead. It's early. You know what? Mistakes are made, but still great stroke, great confidence. I think the biggest thing is you just want to see the confidence in taking the shot. Clean it up a little bit later with the footwork.
AP and O'Neal doing some battling. O'Neal gets the roll.
I gotta say, this is one of the things, like the way Fullerton's playing right now, the inside game, the outside game, this is one of their best performances that I've seen so far in the first, what is now the 5th game of the season.
O'Neal again.
O'Neal! The ball, he kind of lost the ball, but they recovered nicely. Good ups for Fullerton there.
Griffin, perimeter movement, continuing to maintain apart. This is the mismatch to watch as O'Neal trying to shed KP, turns and hits.
Oh gosh, this guy off, and you can see them anticipating it right there.
How about that move? Just can't hit it for Isaiah Griffin. Offensive rebound number 1 for O'Neal. No, number 2, though, was good.
You can't stop aggressive approach on the rim, but still doing great, working hard.
Idaho State 1 for their last 5 from beyond the arc. Cal State Fullerton is 1 for their last 4 from the field. Both teams struggling on offense after a hot start for both sides. Darling turning the corner, Rudolph in his grill. Perimeter ball movement here for the Bengals. Bengals head out to UCLA for their next game. That'll be the preamble for the Titans game at UCLA. Here's a 3 that's down for... Here's Brown. O'Neal taking it away. They didn't listen to you, and he lays it in.
Yeah, it's been Dylan Darling and it's been Isaiah Griffin this year, at least in the scoring department for Idaho State. Dylan Darling had 10 points and Isaiah Griffin had 10 against Southern Oregon. Obviously got a lot of guys in that game. And then in the USC game, Dylan Darling, 22 points for Idaho State.
Fadeaway jumper here, that'll go. Lungu scoop and score.
Taking one for the football team over here.
That's right. 23-17.
A lot of scoop and score, deep touchdowns.
The San Diego Toreros on the football side lead the nation in defensive touchdowns. How about that? Layup is good. And here we go. Darling will bring it up. The third-year sophomore from Spokane, the Washington State transfer. Allen back up top for O'Neal. Turnaround jump shot. The fadeaway is good. Good rebound at Jamerson for San Diego. Back out. Muncie for three again. He's already hit one in this contest. No good. 59-47 remains. 9:29 left to go. Griffin. Hook shot from O'Neal is good.
Line by a couple of Bengals. Back out on top to Clark. Shot clock at 8. Shot up off the glass. Not good. The rebound, Isaiah Griffin. Ball tipped around. Finally controlled by Dylan Darling.
Bengals look like they want to run.
I would like to see the Bengals push tempo a little bit more as they go along. Here is a fall-away jump shot. Good in the paint.
Bryce Dyer came into this ball game with some really nice all-around statistics. You look at his numbers and you say this kid can play the game, and he's just a sophomore.
Hollenbeck, Darling, left wing, down on the block, left side. Jake O'Neal bodies up against Dyer, spins, turns, hangs, and scores.
Boy, what a
rounds of 71.
Yeah, he's
averaged
good.
About 78.
He was originally, and there's a steal by Jake.
Steal by Jake O'Neal. He'll go against Juhala, lay it up and in, and Jake it out there, dumps it to Chapman. He'll work on the left block against Connor Hollenbeck. Nice hook shot up, missed. Another rebound. Jake O'Neal back-to-back trips, and Jake cleans up the miss. Get it to Darling. Jake wants it back. Spot up. 3-ball. Bang! Meza back to Jake O'Neal. Work near side corner. Get it underneath. Evan Otten too hard off the glass. Jackson Green kept it alive, and Jaden Brown controls. Jaden Brown. Bounce pass back out on top as the Bengals will reset here with 10 left on the shot clock. Off that second chance. Weaving inside. Here's Jake O'Neal. Underneath and elevates for the dunk. Liam Clark, his first. So the Bengals inbound backcourt. O'Neal into Q. Quentin Meza working against Elijah Jackson. Now to Jackson Green. Evan Otten. High post. Back to Q. Meza, a little crossover. Comes around the top. Goes underneath, and the reverse layup is good by
Isaiah Griffin. It's with Darling. Lobs inside under the basket. Otten looks for help. O'Neal lines one up. Connects. With 4.5 minutes to go in the first half. A chance to tie or take the lead. O'Neal works on Abbo. Up with the right hand and in. Oh, in the second half. And Idaho State down just one. It's with Darling. Skips it inside. O'Neal battling. Up, under, and in. Knifes inside. Into the corner. Slacker to 3-ball. Not that time. And Darling with it. Up ahead, O'Neal lays it in, and it's back.
He can do, especially against an Idaho State team. You got to shoot that with confidence. He did it right there.
We mentioned all the new faces for Idaho State, but it is a very experienced team. One of the rare underclassmen, Dylan Darling, #1 in black. He's a sophomore. Besides that, it's a whole bunch of juniors, seniors, and graduate students for the Bengals at the Big Sky Conference. Jake O'Neal, one of the team captains. It's up to Darling. Ingles will try to work his way through. Pass deflected. Up for grabs. Still loose, and the Bengals will retrieve it. Here's O'Neal. Inside. The floater is good. And the Bengals have 3 big-name freshmen, along with Quaintance. Also have Josan Sanin as well. There's a loose...
Realize how open he was for a second, it felt like.
So Idaho State, 2 for their first 4 from the floor. ASU still trying to break the scoreless spell. Here's Darling. Off out of the wing, quick beat, driving inside is Jake O'Neal. A turnaround, too. That's pretty for Jake O'Neal.
No deflection. That was a great defensive play. And then how about the outlet? Nunez making it look easy, going right to the rack.
Defense leading to offense. That's been the best recipe of success for ASU tonight. Turnaround, 2, and a bounce.
I like that take. I like that take. He faked on the first one, then really got to settle in on that second one. It'll drop.
Talked about Miller, again, leading returning scorer, 12 per game last year. Had a confident shot in the first half when ASU was really struggling offensively. Has not scored since. O'Neal with a left-handed